Today I'll be showing you how to repack, clean, and adjust the hub of a bicycle. This is the rear hub of my single speed, and I've been hearing some clicking and want to just make sure that that is not the cause of the problem before I try and replace any parts. If you find this video helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe for updates on new videos. For this project, you will need a 15mm cone wrench, a 17mm box end wrench, and either a vise or an adjustable wrench to keep things together. The cone wrench is much thinner than a box end wrench, and it actually gets its name from this adjustment. The first step is to remove the lock nut, then the washer, and the adjustment cone. One reason I'm doing this video on this hub in particular is because this is a traditional cup and cone style adjustment where these ball bearings sit inside a cup, and this adjustment cap, as you can see, is shaped sort of like a cone. We've got bearing races on the cone and bearing races that the bearings sit into. Once we get these bearings out, you get a better look at it. We're going to actually take these bearings out, clean all the grease out, and do the same on the other side. I have a towel down to collect all of the muck. I have a tin ready to catch all the ball bearings. Since these are not cartridge bearings, they come free. And here you can see the cup all cleaned out of grease. It looks pretty good. I'll give that a better once-over off, or a better look off camera. Here we also have the axle. There's still some grease down inside the hub. The axle looks nice and clean. Still a little greasy, but that's not where the contact is made. Here we have the cone, both the cone and the lock nut for that. This cone also looks pretty clean. A little more worn perhaps than the other, but that's okay. Next thing you gotta do is repack the hub. This is no place to be shy with your grease. Get it right up in the bearing race using Park Poly Lube. It's a pretty solid all-purpose duty lubricant. Great for most mechanical things on the bike. Would use this for just about everything except my chain, my shifters, brake levers. These bearings weren't too dirty, so I've given them a vigorous rubbing with a rag. If you wanted to run them through solvent, you could. This is a decent time to inspect them. They look like they're okay, so I'll start with the fun process of getting them stuck back in there. The grease will definitely help you with this. So one place you want to hit them with, again, a little more grease. This is, you know, the rolling part of the bike, so this to be nice and lubricated. Right through, you're nice and greasy. Use that cone to keep it all in place. Flip it over and get your grease and grease up the other side. Repeat this process on the other side using plenty of grease throughout. The axle will help hold the bearings in place. Just like a cake decorator. Your cone. Now if you'll remember, there were two parts. 2*3 parts to this. You have the cone and you have the nut. You tighten the nut, you adjust the cone. Now there needs to be some balance in this adjustment, so we'll go over that in just a second. This is where I really wish I had a vise. So you'll be jockeying the position of these two, and even working with the adjustment on the other side, because it's all harmonious. What you're shooting for is free spinning, but without play. too much play. Spins freely, but way too much play. See, now that won't even spin. No play, but it won't spin. This whole process is much easier if you have a vise. I do not, so I kind of use the adjustable wrench to hold everything together. In a vise, or just generally, I find that it's helpful to adjust the cone with the cone wrench and then back it off a quarter or even a half a turn, and then come in with the box end wrench to lock it all down. And then that adjustment will then put everything just about where it belongs. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and feel free to check back next week for more content.